welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. I am sorry this is such a late stream, or maybe extremely early, depending on where you are. But this is all happening from home, so a lot of things can easily get in the way. I thought it was difficult to do this when I had to go into the city, but it's actually more difficult when a lot of small things can kind of delay you. But I think everything seems to be working, the microphone and everything. Just let me know if something is strange. Hope everyone is doing well. It's still nothing, still a bunch of nothing. Everything is locked down, and until the end of May, they just announced public schools in Japan, the end of May will reopen, and that's after a big national holiday, which is called Golden Week. And Golden Week is a week where there are 4 national holidays all in the same week, and so they just extend it to a week-long vacation, or most people do. Some people do get stuck working a few days in the middle, but for the most part, people have a week off, or almost 10 days. So the plane tickets and everything get jacked up to ridiculous prices, and hotel rooms are very expensive, but that's just become common, this weird gouging for the holidays, because people only take their kind of 2 big holidays, one in May and one in August, every year. It's not so common for people to schedule their own vacations or things. I mean, it does happen, and depending on how well you're doing at your job, how well you're placed in the company, I guess it's more possible. But it's a little dangerous, because every day you're not working is a day someone else is getting ahead of you. That's the mentality. All right. Oh, hey, Joe. Or Joe's coming back. Hey, K5. Hey, Sedona. Oh, yeah, I've heard that. I heard somebody was saying they flew to New York, from New York to Detroit, for like $37 or something crazy one way. Yeah, I don't even know how much flying is going on here with the domestic airlines. And they've already said, the government's already said no travel for this holiday season. So this has been one of those kind of 80s style summer breaks for kids in Japan. They're going to have March, April, May completely off. Just like when I was a kid, we had June, July, August completely off, no school. And then slowly June started to become school. Then July and into July, and basically now you only have August. But yeah, I think I hope the American airline companies survive this, because there are definitely many fewer people traveling. And I heard it in Europe, not in America, but in Europe they have to fly empty planes, because they have to be putting those planes at gates to kind of maintain their whatever their contracts for spaces to land. So each airline in Europe has to just fly empty planes, whether they like it or not, because they need to secure their place at the airports. I guess that would apply to American carriers flying in Europe. Oh, that's great. Yeah, half. Wow, that's great. Yeah, for so long the airline prices, and with those ridiculous fuel fees and things, have been getting so expensive. It would be nice if they went down and stayed down for people to keep flying. Yeah, especially with gas prices, or crude oil prices being like nothing now. Like, they don't have any place to even keep oil, so the price just it was like 50 cents a barrel or something at some point. It was very, very cheap. So if you want to buy your own crude oil, this is your chance. But yeah, that was amazing. All right, things just seem to be working okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. And if you get them I mean, the price is fixed. As far in advance as you can get them, you'll get that price. So even if things go back to normal, that might be a good time to get whatever they're called, adjustable or changeable tickets. Tickets where you can change the date and don't lose the money, and just secure these insanely cheap prices. And Joe is off again. Wow, yeah, 4 years, yeah. That sounds like me. That's about how long it's been since I've seen some family in the U.S. And this was going to be the year. That's the frustrating part, is this was going to be the year where I was going to do as much visiting as possible and, just take advantage of having a more flexible schedule this year, and it did not work. And especially because my daughter's going to get busier on the way to junior high school. A lot of kids have to take entrance exams. Even if it's a public school, you have to take an entrance exam into kind of your level at the school. And so kids get really busy around 6th grade. So 6th grade is the break between elementary school and junior high school here. And then it's 3 and 3. So it's 6, 3, and 3, as opposed to, what is it? 4th grade. Up until 4th grade is elementary, then middle school is 4 years, and then high school is 4 years. They do 3 for some reason, which is weird because you barely get used to things and teachers and buildings, and then you leave. So 3 years is a very short time. And most people don't have the same classmates, even if they live in a small town. And it's very common that you'll lose all of your friends after elementary school, get new friends in junior high school, lose all of those friends, and get new friends in high school. And then it happens again with university. So for a lot of Americans, it's only university where you're kind of leaving your childhood friends. But here, yeah, it's odd. So you've got your kind of neighborhood friends, your school friends, and those school friends keep changing. So it's different style. Yeah, definitely have to have insurance. Oh yeah, I think it is. It is a strange thing because you have to really work hard to keep your childhood friends, your elementary school friends and things, and it kind of resets. And I think that's also why Japan has such a bad bullying culture. It gets really out of control, and now with smartphones and things, it's pretty harassing. And it's because you lose your little protective group. If a group of kids that have known you for a while, you'll at least have somebody around you to stick up for you. And when you're the new kid, when you're all new kids every 3 years, then it gives the chance for the bullies to kind of take over and nobody to quite know who's back to take. And yeah, so it's weird. I saw some, I taught for a little bit in a just kind of a public junior high school, and I saw some really weird bullying, especially of the special ed kids. That was really depressing, seeing how brutal some of the young boys were. And it was probably the young boys that would be bullied by other boys were bullying the special ed kids. So it was, very, very depressing. Yeah, exactly. I missed that. I didn't quite have that. We moved around a little too much, but that K through 12, friends, that's insane. Although then leaving them for university is, that's rough. But it's a very different style. But friendships and romantic relationships like girlfriend boyfriend is not it's not discouraged, but you're so busy that having a girlfriend or having a big group of friends that you have to kind of keep in contact with and do things together is much more difficult here, just because the academic demands are so crazy at times. And I think some of that entrance exam thing is from more British school system. I think American schools or North American schools might be trying that out, but that seems really miserable to have to test into every school. So you've got this like nerve-wracking study period, of your life every time. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how it should be. You should know somebody most of their life. That would be a much nicer thing than just having, oh, I think I knew that guy. We were only friends for 3 years. Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't worked in a Japanese office, so I don't know kind of the office. I mean, I just hear secondhand or thirdhand stories about office politics and things. But that's the strangest dynamic is your school and academic life. You only know people for a short amount of time, and then you get a job, and your coworkers are your coworkers for life. Everybody works at the same company. The company that they get hired at out of university, the company that hires them is usually the company they stick with for life. And you may move departments, but you've got the same coworkers at your branch, your office forever. That's a little crazy. That seems a little bit harder to deal with than having same classmates for 12 years. Yeah, so that's a very different thing. Yeah, nobody knows what to make of all of the North Korea rumors. I think they've already been debunked. That it's just the dear leader is hiding out from the coronavirus because I'm sure he's in a high-risk group, being such a cheese-obsessed, chubby little guy. I heard that too, that's why, I guess genetically they're all kind of chubby. Oh. His whole bloodline is a little on the chubby side, but I'm flipping through the history of this. This is weird. But he went to school in Switzerland? I think Switzerland. And private school in Switzerland, and became obsessed with cheese there. And then has it imported to North Korea. And that's why he's so obese with that big basketball head. And so that would put him, being morbidly obese puts him in a higher risk group. And he's, immortal. He's a practically a god for the North Koreans, so nothing can happen to him. Step forward. What's going on? Sorry. Okay, well, I'm swiping and erasing things somehow. But it's I think been just debunked. He didn't have heart surgery and die. He was just sheltering at home or sheltering in a bunker deep below the Earth's crust, however they do that, and however the government of North Korea does that. But yeah, for a while that was because that's a very scary, especially in this situation, that's a very scary thing to happen in Asia, because that would mean if the military couldn't take control, that immediately you would have a huge refugee problem, and North Korea's border with China, they would have to just lock it down fast, because you have a bunch of non-Chinese speaking North Koreans looking for protection and some kind of security, and I don't know if China would want to do that, but at the same time they don't want South Korea or America to take over, so who knows. But I don't think we have to worry about that. Yeah, exactly, definitely hiding out. Yeah, I guess there were a couple of formal events or something he didn't attend, so people started making up all kinds of stories, speculating on what his absence meant. And I love how they go immediately to heart surgery. Yeah, he's fat. He must be having heart surgery. I think he's only in his 30s. But Yeah, that would be worse than them launching missiles. Is having an entire country of North Korean refugees. You know, the humanitarian crisis of that for Asia to deal with at this time. Okay, I don't know why I'm drawing test tubes. Ugh. I'm looking for the cure. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, there's no. It's so secretive. I was listening to a guy that wrote a book about North Korea, and the whole system is very strange and secretive. Nobody even knows who his kids are. I mean, all of his family, like he's married with kids, and I think we've seen his wife, but his kids are kept secret, and maybe because of assassination or whatever. Who knows what they worry about there, but nobody knows anything about his kids, and so like when he was brought up, he just like suddenly appeared. When the father was ill or getting on or whatever, just suddenly he appeared as this. They're like, oh, you have a son, because and I guess that's why they hid him in Europe for boarding school, but. Yeah, so nobody really knows, but it is a unlike like kind of Soviet style communism or Chinese communism. They're doing this like bloodline of ascension thing, so you have to be of that Kim blood, and that makes it a little strange because we don't know who that would be, and it could be a 12-year-old for all we know. It could be a son somewhere, but he's like, still too young. But yeah, I don't think we have to worry. That was a weird thing to come out, and it's a shame that people are just doing this weird speculation just to get attention, because they know that's with Asia being in the news because of the weather, because of the bad weather, that they know any story of anything happening in Asia is exciting for people. Mysterious Asia. But yeah, so turned out to, so far, I mean, who knows though? They're good at disinformation. So he could be dead for years before we know what's actually going on. But they said, though, that if that was actually the case, things would be in chaos right now. You would have a lot of contact with people just freaking out, parts of the military or whatever, just being so uncertain. And especially, we don't even know how the bad weather is affecting North Korea. It could be a nightmare there because of the lack of health care. All right, what's going on here? Yeah, very strange. Yeah, you wonder why he's so odd, and then like you're kind of revealed to the public, and then and here is another, God walking on earth from this family that we want to introduce you to because he's our new leader. That has to be a weird amount of pressure. But yeah, and that's such an old way. I gotta do something else here. Such an old way to rule is that some godlike something in your blood makes you better than other people and have to be required to rule them, when we should all be honored. That kind of went away after World War I. All of that collapsed pretty violently, and it's not like it wasn't being abused. What am I doing? It's not like it wasn't being abused really horribly. But yeah, that's been the only kind kind of odd piece of news. And Japan lost another kind of famous actress. So there's been 3 kind of public figures that have died. One was a very famous comedian, and then 2 have been actors, mostly, I guess, both TV and movies. I think everybody does kind of both TV and movies. Because there just aren't that many actors here compared to other countries. But that was, yeah. So, and I think she had breast cancer, or she was in breast cancer treatment, so she had compromised immunity from like chemotherapy or something. So that wasn't good. But in her 60s. I think she was in her 60s. But the photos of her, she looked 30. That's the funny thing, is some Japanese women, they do not look their age at all. When they said her age and they showed her photo, I was like, whoa, okay. I guess that's what 60 can look like. Well, also, I'm sure if she was an actress, I'm sure she had some work. But, yeah, so there's been some big deaths, but all older people so far in Japan. And there's plenty here. There's a lot of older people. Yeah, the last time I was out grocery shopping locally, almost a month ago now, I was surprised so many of the local old people are still, doing their little meetings at the cafes, and they're out doing stuff. And I guess they know they're at risk doing that, but they just, I'd rather see my friends and get sick and die than not see my friends. I don't know what the thinking is. But, and also too, the problem here with the sheltering at home, self-isolating things, is some people in Japan, or quite a few people, have like a 1-room, 2-room apartment, and that's it. And if you got any significant amount of family members, you can't comfortably be at home for much time. And so there's a lot of reports, not really domestic violence, although I'm sure that's up. It's just not talked about here so much. But people are getting really, really sick of each other if they have to work from home. And especially because the men here are very entitled. So even if they're working from home, they're working, and it's so much more important than anything else. So be quiet and bring me my sandwich and newspaper. And yeah, they're pretty entitled, and so a lot of people are getting very frustrated with everybody being at home in a small apartment, and one guy running around like he's the most important thing happening. So yeah, I've heard some of those stories already. But yeah, things are okay. I'm just kind of losing track of time. I watched the Unabomber documentary thing, that series on Netflix, and it was so funny when there was a line where one of his neighbors said he just kind of came walking out of the woods from his cabin and asked them, what day is it and what time is it? He had no clock or anything, no electricity in his cabin. Just asked him, what day and what time is it? And that's how I felt exactly when I was watching that. I'm like, wait, what day and time is it? So, living the Unabomber style. Yeah, divorce is so strange here. I bet, though, yeah, there will be more divorce. It was like my parents' generation, kind of the baby boomer generation in Japan, completely unheard of. Because there were even movies that, women that became divorced became prostitutes, and like there's different levels of like adult entertainer in Japan, but they had to work at bars and chase rich men to survive, and these really depressing movies in the 60s about kind of fallen women, kind of the 50s idea, 40s and 50s idea that America had about divorce. But it's become much more common here, and the funny thing is, child custody is barely a thing, because it always goes to the mother, and the men just whatever, they just forget about it and try to start again. So there's child support, but it's not enforced. So a guy can just say, ah, yeah, I don't got that, I don't got any money. So yeah, no child support. So there can be a court judgment, and the guy can just plead poverty, and that's okay. You know, the court will accept that, and most of the time, they just move to different cities and never see each other again. So there's kids that have never seen their father if they divorce, like when the wife is still pregnant or when the kid's really small. They've never known their father, and it's just, that's fine. That's how it's supposed to be, because they got a divorce, and so it's very strangely serious here in that way. But there's some kids with just no contact with their biological fathers, and that's only really, though, women that have good families that can just move back in with their families and have that kind of support, babysitting and financial support. Yeah, right. Benadryl will do that. Dang, yeah. Some days have just blurred. I was so shocked. It was Tuesday again already. I was like, I was gonna do something before next Tuesday, and yeah, I realized it was already Tuesday again. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, is it Benadryl for allergies? Because allergies have been really bad here. Had some crazy, weird headaches. And I haven't been going outside. I've just been briefly going outside. Not enough to get, my sinuses full. But we've got another present from the great communist country of China here in Japan, what they call, and it's not racist, but they call it yellow sand. They call it yellow sand in the press, and it's got a chemical name. It's like they named it like PM something, some designation, like numeric designation, and it's, I think, just a manufacturing, like one of those weird chemical reactions that takes place with a combination of like environmental conditions and manufacturing, and we get this like really fine particulate that's yellow. So probably sulfur or something is being combined with something, and it's this weird sticky dust that just gets everywhere, and it looks like everything's in the Sahara Desert or something. It's very bizarre. Everything just looks like sand blown, and it sticks everywhere, and it's a real major irritant, and so you can have those allergies too. But what you're having is a chemical allergy, because it's not a natural thing. It's a weird chemical interaction producing this weird particulate, and we just have to measure it and deal with it, and it just kind of blows off of China and comes over here. But we've had that forever. So along with like it becoming more storms and wind, we get that PM dust, or the yellow sand, which you can only say if you're Asian. But the yellow sand, in Japan gets pretty brutal. And you can see it on parked cars and stuff very easily. Oh yeah. So outside. Oh wow, allergic to redwood. That's too bad. Those big, beautiful trees. Yeah, so I found all kinds of weird allergies being here. Wow. That's funny. The things you find out you're allergic to. Wow. Well, I hope you're feeling better. That's got to be no fun. Allergies are so strange, because once you get a reaction, you have to take something pretty strong to calm it down, because your body will just keep reacting. It's really hard to shut down that mechanism. At least I've learned that. As soon as I feel allergies, it's way too late to get much relief. You're just gonna have to suffer. But Benadryl is good. All right. Wow. That's nice. Yeah. Maybe not nice for you because you've got you're allergic, but that's great. Yeah, we used to have these two, before they did construction in the kind of public sidewalk, which is just stairs going up the mountainside. Before they did construction here, we had these two old, I mean, possibly like 50, maybe 100-year-old, because depending on when they planted everything, but the stairs were definitely at least 100 years old. They tore them all up, cut down every single tree, and the entire length of the stairs all the way up to the temple had the sakura tunnel. Basically, the cherry blossom trees had been cut so that they made this shape, and you walked in the shade of these trees all the way up. And because they were worried about the kind of drainage issues, and they wanted to put a handrail for old people and stuff, they tore everything out. So we had these two ancient, really gnarly cherry trees in front of the house that were just, I could barely like reach around them. They were huge, so they could easily be 100 years old. And they just cut them down. It was crazy. Hey, Les Shreddy. Yes, this is a late one. Sorry. Sorry to show up at such a late time. But thank you for stopping by. Nice. Yeah, I just got started not too long ago. I was trying to draw scientific equipment. I guess a bong is basically scientific equipment. You're doing things with smoke and air pressure. Yeah, I've never owned a bong. Always pipes or joints. Never. Yeah, and that was always. It was like everybody's house that I went into in LA. It was an Xbox and a bong. Like that was like what was in front of the television every time, and a grinder. Yeah, actually, no, Japan is still kind of getting cases pretty regularly. Where I am, it's pretty low. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere, a little more countryside, the old part. So a lot of older people, though, so a lot of at-risk people, but the reported cases are really low compared to the cities. I think it's slowed down a bit, but for a while, Tokyo was jumping 100 cases, 100 cases, 100 cases every day. But I've tried to stay off of the news because it was mostly freaking out my wife and daughter with just all the little things they were reporting. It was getting them more and more nervous, and what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And so yeah, just catch the occasional news report. And yeah, things are Osaka, the nearest big city, is catching up to Tokyo as far as cases, but I don't think they're ever going to surpass them because there's so much more population there and so much more crowded. But yeah, things seem to be okay, but they did just delay everything opening until the end of May. As far as schools, the unenforceable kind of recommendations of the government are, if you can work from home, and we will let you know, when things change. Oh, that's right. I need to do something larger. But yeah, there haven't been any big scary jumps, and especially where I'm at, it's pretty reasonable. There's just like one or two every few days. So, and I don't know if that's a lack of testing or people not going to the hospital or what, but right. That makes sense. Alright, I'm not going to be able to do this, am I? So, a cylinder with a lip. Well, yeah, but things just kind of got delayed. That's not going to work. Things just kind of got delayed here. In Japan, they didn't react very quickly, and they thought it was going to be okay. But we had so many Chinese here, prior, over the Christmas time. So many Chinese, and it just, only stopped in January. So we definitely had sick people traveling and all kinds of wonderful stuff coming here, because especially Osaka was just packed with Chinese tourists, and I hope we never go back to that, because that was a miserable way to have to deal with the city with just a bunch of Chinese people wandering around. And when you look at Beijing or Shanghai, maybe just because it's cheaper to travel to Japan than it is to travel in China, but yeah, the big cities in China now look pretty similar to Tokyo or Osaka, so I don't know what the motivation to come to Japan is, because they don't speak the language, they don't care. Most of them don't speak English, so there's no common language at all with with any of the shops or anything. So it's just people barking at you in Chinese. Especially there was a Starbucks that I went to regularly in the train station, and it would just be packed because it would be people waiting for the airport express at that station, and they'd have all their giant suitcases and bidet electric toilet seats and rice cookers and everything that they were going to bring back with them to sell. And it was just miserable, very just yelling, grabby people. It was amazing. I think the staff, which is all like Japanese students basically, like all kids in their 20s, were shocked at the that kind of culture difference. Wrong layer. Yeah. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, I'm trying to not look so feral. Yeah, you don't see me between the streams, but yeah, it gets pretty brutal. Oh. Yeah, I hope everything is going okay in where you are in the world. I haven't had any real updates from family in the U.S. My mom's retired, and they kind of live in the middle of nowhere, so they're very safe. They just have groceries delivered and just hide out from people. So that's been easy for them, but other families, in bigger cities and kind of in the midst of it, but I haven't heard any big updates. But I don't have any grandparents left, so that's the one good thing, is I don't have any very old relatives right now. But still, 60s is old enough for this. Oh, the literal weather? The actual weather is pretty good in Japan recently. A little cool, but very clear. Oh, yeah, no street. And if I did this on Sunday, it might be fun to stick a camera out the window, because there are many people going up to the temple. So I live kind of on a mountainside with a temple on the top. And so Sundays and weekends, people are still, religion ignores everything. So there are still people going up the steps. Everyone's wearing masks, and they're, social distancing and stuff. There's not crowds, but there's still a bunch of people. So you can see all the people going by, and it's just stairs. It's just, maybe 1.5 kilometers of stairs, so maybe a mile of stairs up to this top of this small mountain with this temple. But people put on like mountaineering gear and have like poles, like hiking poles, and all of this like outdoor wear on. Like some of these old people dressed in like $1,000 worth of Patagonia and like North Face and all of this like expensive outdoor wear just to walk up to the temple. I mean, there's a little bit, you can do a little bit of hiking That's something I should do, is take a camera and just record like what's up there, because it's really beautiful. There's a little kind of alcove cut into the, hey Joe, you made it back. A little alcove cut into the mountainside with a Buddha, like a shrine with a Buddha, like a golden Buddha statue. That looks amazing, and you can see that from kind of everywhere in the on the grounds of the temple. And then there's kind of a winding path that goes up that way, and it's all really, really old. Like the train station that serves this temple is 113 years old. So the temple itself could easily be like 200 years old. I don't know, maybe like closer to 150. But yeah, it's really cool. The kind of winding path with all the gravestones in this forest, and then it goes up to the mountainside with the little shrine up there. Oh, In and Out, nice. Oh yeah, it's been a while since I've had In and Out. They did a pop-up shop, a pop-up In and Out in Tokyo, probably like 5 years ago, and I was hoping that was going to mean that it may come to Japan, or there might be something. But I think it was just the novelty factor, because so many people have visited California in Japan that they know that brand, they know those burgers. But it didn't happen. Krispy Kreme came here for some reason, but not In and Out. My touch is a little off. Nice. 2:30 a.m. In and Out. Oh, that sounds good. Damn, yeah. Middle of the night drive-through. That's the best. Dang. There's a couple of drive-thrus here, but I think it's only McDonald's and Starbucks. So, nothing very tempting. And they don't do the late night advertising, so you don't even get the idea to drive out and go get something at 2. Yeah, I definitely missed that. That's a weird thing. Wow. Oh, that's crazy. Catching fish with a drone. Dang. Yeah, that's crazy. Mm. Wow. Yeah, they had to crack down on drones here pretty quick, because hobbyists, I mean, that becomes a popular hobby really quickly. But Japan is also very perverted, so of course people are going to put 4K cameras on drones and then fly them near your bathroom window. So they had to right away, just like they love the upskirts here, so of course that would be the next logical application for drones. So they had to right away crack down on people using them in public. Although I've still seen people doing videos of like tourist videos, travel videos of Japan with drones, and maybe if you're a foreigner you can kind of get away with it. You'll just they'll just tell you don't do that anymore, and if you've already got your footage, then you're good. Nice. Okay, let's try something else. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that would be the most... You could get really amazing footage or just see amazing things flying a drone in a big city. Yeah, I know that, like the U.S., they immediately cracked down, I guess, because of the terrorist possibilities of drones, like near airports and sensitive places, but I'm not sure. And also, it's probably state by state as well. But when things were first out, it was the Wild West. There were no laws, so people were doing... But that's also when they were bigger and noisier and had worse cameras on them. I think the laws probably kicked in right as... Whoa, right as things started... The technology started to get perfected. Alright. Now, just drawing strange burgers. And one more. An entire burger of only cheese. Does that work? Oh, the bottom is a little wrong. Nice. Joe's got his food and is driving home. PB&J, all right. That's one thing I had a hell of a time. It's easier now. There's Costco and things here now, but I had a hell of a time finding peanut butter in Japan that wasn't that weird, that like not fine, very finely ground, like health food store one. I like the super over processed, overly sweet versions, but yeah, that took a while. I don't know about these strange burgers. All right, I can put these on. Oops, new layer, new layer. Oh yeah, In and Out is yeah. It's not any frozen stuff, so they just you see them literally like take potatoes and put them through a slicer and just put raw ground beef on a grill. Like that's the novelty of it. But they have the old school fast food menu where it's like burger, cheeseburger, French fries, shakes, and Coke, and that's it. There's not a the menu is like very limited. just like the first McDonald's menu was like basically hamburger, cheeseburger, milkshake, Coca-Cola, French fries, just like 5 items. So it's just that old school thing. Oh. Yeah, so I think just compared to the big ones, Burger King and Wendy's and McDonald's, it tastes more real. It tastes, because it's not frozen. It tastes like something made from home. And for some reason, from what I remember, they really managed to keep their popularity high so that they are always grilling burgers. Like they're constantly making hamburgers all the time. So they just got a grill full of burgers going. And and they're like not crazy. They're not crazy oversized. You can get like multiple patties. But from what I remember, but it seems to be, it's in around LA. It was always busy. Like there was always a line. It was always busy. You'd have to go at a really strange time. Go at a really strange time to get in and out very quickly. Yeah. But I think like the in Downey, California, they still have what they're calling the original, an original McDonald's, which I can't remember. Oh no, it is. That is. I forget the story. The story of McDonald's is pretty sad, like how it was taken away from the McDonald's guys. But they have a simulation of like an old style McDonald's with Sir Speedy instead of Ronald McDonald, or Mr. something Speedy instead of Ronald McDonald, and that limited menu. And I'm not sure, they're probably still using the same McDonald's frozen patties and stuff, but it's that limited menu to make it, feel like the 50s again. All right. Oh. Oh, nice. Taco time. I like that. Nice. Yeah, I wonder. They're California based, so they may, but it's the same problem I think that who was it, Burger King or whatever was having. I mean, their grills are so their griddles, whatever the flat metal cooking surfaces are, so full of animal fat that I don't think you'd actually get a true veggie burger off of those grills, because they just are melting fat on them all day. So I'm not sure if they would go through the expense of having a veggie only grill, but they may, because it is California. California based. I've seen the most in California, just West Coast based. It's funny how that limited access regional thing makes it, so much more alluring, because people don't know what it is. But yeah, just one of those throwback kind of 50s drive-thrus without the roller skates or the trays on your table. Oh, and the other thing that they do that's a little funny is they ask you when you order if you're going to eat in the car, and then if you say you're going to eat in the car, they give you a paper mat to put over your lap, because the burgers are a little messier, because they're not they haven't been perfected in a laboratory, so they're more easily they fall apart a little easier. But they know what you're gonna do. You're gonna drive off somewhere and eat in your car, which the other places don't recognize that's like actually how people use drive-thrus. And you get one French fry underneath your seat, so then your car has a McDonald's fragrance forever. All right, there we go. Oh, yeah? Oh, I wonder why, yeah. That's not good. Yeah, because I wonder what they do. If it's all soy, who knows? Yeah. And if they're just running it on the same grill as the meat burgers, if you're sensitive to, if you don't eat meat and you're sensitive to it, you probably are eating some animal fat along with that impossible burger. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I can have. Okay. Yeah, I wonder how those are doing for fast food places. It's just like when they started doing salads in plastic containers. We would have healthy options. All right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that's easy to fall out of a at least red meat is probably easy. Especially in the U.S., I think I've had the most, well, just hamburgers in general. If you get an undercooked hamburger, you regret it because of all the things that can contaminate ground beef. So if you don't cook it completely. Yeah, so I wonder if the handling or whatever. Yeah, I haven't had any of the. I've had Japanese versions of tofu burgers, but those are usually just handmade. I haven't seen any in the store. That's really funny. Like, they have so much tofu here, but they don't have tofu burgers, and they don't have like meat replacement. And I think it's just because Japan is a terrible country to be vegan or vegetarian in, because everything's got some sort of fish stock or something, and even like a nice soy sauce has fish. It's fish based, so there's a lot of it's impossible to not eat animals in a lot of ways. A lot of just small byproducts, and the what they call dashi, the kind of soup base for a lot of Japanese cooking is made from fish, so it's hard to get away from. I mean, they got a lot of good vegetables, and you could do it yourself probably pretty easily, but you can't eat out vegetarian. But the only 100% guaranteed vegetarian place are the Buddhist temples, and some of them do have like an inn, like like a not a hotel, but like a place where you can stay, like an extra room where you can stay and just be on the temple grounds, and they'll feed you and everything, and that's all vegetarian. So I've heard that those are the best vegetarian meals are at the Buddhist temples, if that's where you want to stay. But I don't know what's going on with this. Oh, well, I think this is the only thing. Yeah, yeah. That's right. No beef, no meat. Joe is back home with his In and Out. So, did you eat in the car on your way driving over, or did you wait? At least the fries you have to eat while you're driving, so they're still hot. Sorry. Yeah, my it's always early morning trash day. So I have weird interrupted sleep because I get up at 6 a.m. and take out the trash. Then I try to go back to sleep and don't quite do it. Oh. Okay. Something else. Oh. 6 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I didn't. I think I fell asleep shortly before that, too. Yeah, I was watching a bunch of World War One stuff last night because I saw there's a game that I picked up. There's the Drive-Through RPG website has a bunch of games, and so we do a lot of reviews and stuff of tabletop games for the other podcast. And I got a discounted version of a They Will Never Go Home, I think it's called, and it's a kind of weird World War One based thing where there's like demonic incursions into the world. So like you've got no man's land, but you also have all this like insane demonic stuff going on. And so I just wanted to refresh myself on some of the geography and some of the settings of the bigger battles if I was gonna run that game. To not sound totally ignorant, and woof, there is just gruesome footage. And it's funny because it's like, 14 to 18, so it's very very early movie cameras and things, film cameras, but there's still some gruesome footage from World War One. And I still haven't seen that. Is that Peter Jackson that did that? They Will Not Grow Old. They did the color versions of all the old film from World War One. But yeah, that's just gruesome. The death tolls are just insane in that whole situation. It's just Europe fighting amongst itself, and then they just did it all over again. Like 20 years later, they did it all over again. It's insane. Oh, that's right. So I gotta think of something. Oh yeah. No, I think fish stock is definitely healthy. But if you're vegan, you don't want to eat anything living. You don't want animal protein. So when they sneak that into everything, like you have tofu with green onions or something on it, and then a little soy sauce, and that soy sauce is going to add, not it's soy based, but it might add some, depending on which kind you use, may add some fish stock to it. So a lot of different things will have that. Even some seaweed and things they will prepare with. They'll flavor them a little bit with fish. But yeah, it's incredibly healthy compared to animal fat, compared to beef and pork. But yeah, it's, if you're not doing it for health reasons, if you're doing it for kind of moralistic reasons, altruistic motivations, then it's hard to avoid here. Which is funny because they have a whole vegan religion. All right. I will draw this infinitely here. Jeez. All right. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, this still acts a little strange. Yeah, the combination of the pen and the touch screen. But I can't turn the touch screen off like you can on some other tablets. Ugh. Oh, yeah, I didn't hear much about it. That was just that, yeah, that kind of experiment like they were going to do. I think it was because Konami was such a mess at that time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, once you stop eating beef, chicken, and cheese, it is hard to go back. But yeah, Konami was like moving to get rid of the weird thing about. I mean, I think except for Nintendo, all of the game companies in Japan are run by these old men. I mean, like ancient old men, 70, 80-year-old men that don't understand games. They just know it's profit, and most of the game companies have a slot and pachinko division. So basically, they make gambling machines for casinos, and that's the most profitable thing they do because you're, probably more addicted to gambling than video games, but they make more money selling slot machines. And so Konami was like looking to completely dump their video game division. That's when they fired Kojima, and but I think that timing was just really bad because they were working on that project, that PT project that was going to be like the next Silent Hill or whatever, because they had given Silent Hill over to like American, or I forget, like they were like Western developers, the last few Silent Hill games, and they were not very good at all. They were just didn't have the same atmosphere, and they didn't have the same composer and things as the original game, so they just sounded and didn't play very different. They played very different. But yeah, I think that timing was really bad because they were experimenting to do a new Silent Hill, and then Konami just killed their whole game division. So basically, all they do now is they still own Metal Gear and all of those old properties, but they're just turning them out for slot machines and the digital screens and pachinko and stuff. Because if you go to a pachinko hall or pachinko palace, whatever, they have so many game characters and comics characters themed. Like there's some original characters for those games, but most of them are just taken from other popular properties. And so Konami has popular properties from their 90s and 2000 games, so they are just producing gambling machines from those. But I think it was just weird timing where they just killed it, and it had that weird limited release. Like I remember people were selling like PS3s or whatever that had it downloaded, so you could download it as some kind of beta test or whatever for a very limited time, and then it just disappeared. But I don't know super a lot about it, and I didn't ever play it myself. I just saw, I just watched a few YouTube videos and heard people talking about it. But that was that was an odd thing, because wasn't I might be getting some projects confused, but wasn't the guy that did Hellboy, Del Toro, Guillermo del Toro, wasn't he involved? Or I think he and somebody, they were working together. I thought he was involved some way with that. Yeah, but that still is floating around on some people's, I think, PS3s. But it was one of those weird things too, where they released it and then they took it down. And anytime they do that, people become really curious about what it was about. But the Resident Evil 7 that came out had a lot of that atmosphere. I think those guys, the Capcom guys, definitely had played that or were aware of it or fans of that, and it has that before things really get going, you have a lot of like really creepy just hallway exploration, and especially with the VR version, the way you open doors and stuff is pretty crazy. So yeah, they definitely were influenced by that, but I'm not sure. I think it was just that Konami was shutting down. It was such a strange decision because, I mean, they really, when I would go to E3, the years that I went to E3, I mean, you only went there to see the trailers for the new Konami games, for the new Silent Hill or new Metal Gear. That was the main attraction. And it's funny, they just gave up making games because it's not profitable enough, even though they have some of the most successful properties in the console games. But yeah, Japanese game companies are very strange. I've got a friend that works for Capcom, and he says that it's such a huge company and they're doing so many things at the same time. You have no idea like what is going on, and the decision making is just really bizarre because it's made from the top by very old, out of touch people, like most companies in Japan. What am I drawing? Like most companies in Japan, the leadership is just hanging in there. They're just clinging to their 20, 30-year-old success. So yeah, it makes for really weird decision making and really disappointing stuff. I think the only company that has people that understand games and enjoy games is Nintendo. And unfortunately, they lost Miyamoto. They lost. He died pretty young. But and that's what everybody that works at any game company in Japan just wants to be working for Nintendo. But there's only so many spots. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. So, I don't know. And it's amazing that those companies are still going. And Capcom's having some pretty good success with their remakes recently. Although they are about to remake, I think they're in production to remake Resident Evil 4, which might be a mistake because if they just throw it together with that engine that they did for the 1 and 2 remakes, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, because they just released 3, so yeah, they're going to be doing another one. So I don't know. All right, what is that? So I'm trying to think of some odd thing that nobody remembers buying. Yeah, right, condoms. Oh, that's what that looks like, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh, damn. I was trying to draw old film. I guess film was just in boxes. They didn't have tabs. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. This will be some weird fast food. I think I'll make this a little bit more offset. Yeah, more of a... Yeah, something like that. All right. Yeah, that'll do it. No, condoms might work. I'll have to think about that for the the joke. All right, so I'll just do some color. Yeah, I'll just do a paper color. Oh, that's right. Little. There we go. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, that's crazy. I'll have to look for that. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Yeah. Well, I think it was the national. I think it was the national team, the national Japanese women's soccer team, and they did an interview, and because they're very athletic, but all also have their hair cut short. Most of them have very short hair, and just because it's very practical. But in Japan, there's no kind of LGBTQ awareness, and they were interviewing the whole team and asking them about their boyfriends. I think most of the members of that team don't have boyfriends. But the reporter had no concept of like that even being a possibility. So it was just like this giggling, awkward silence when the interviewer was like, "So are your boyfriend's happy that you're winning so much or whatever?" And it was just a bunch of giggling because that's the default in Japan. It's still very the whole idea is very new still, but yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, that sort of thing is very, very funny. That culture clash. But also, I can see, especially if you're an athlete in Japan, just being asexual if you're an athlete because you're so busy. There's no way you can have a social life. But yeah, that was really great. The complete awkward ignorance. But they did start. The last thing that I heard is there's, I think, Shibuya, one of the wards in Tokyo, actually has domestic partnerships now. Like you can actually apply. I don't think it gives you great rights or anything compared to a lot of Western countries, but it might help with insurance and hospital visiting and stuff. So I think they have this exact same kind of problems. All right, so there's the weird late night cheeseburger. But yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. I'm really curious about who that was because I think they would have talked about that more in the news. I missed it. Yeah, that's the thing too. I think the being an athlete, being like a professional athlete, is much more like it was in America and like the 50s and 60s, where there weren't big salaries, there weren't big sponsorships. So you have a day job, like you're on a professional team, but only during the season, and then you have a day job, and you have to sell cars or whatever during the off season. But maybe I don't know if that's true of the NFL. It used to be, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that's more common here because the big athletes, the very successful or professional, especially internationally, athletes get huge endorsements, just like in the U.S. But I think a lot of the smaller level professionals don't have the huge salaries here, so they may have a lot of day jobs compared to Europe or America. Cheese on cheese on cheese. That's what I did. The ultimate cheeseburger. Cheese only cheeseburger. Yeah, with this streaming and doing this from home, I'm getting even more of that weird creative anxiety. It's like, do I have any ideas? Can I actually draw something this week? It's funny because I guess I got used to the surroundings or the environment, and for a couple of years it always happened, but now that I'm doing that from home, it's a different atmosphere, and you feel like but I'm like that with freelance a lot too. I'll get a job and say, the first thing I think is, wow, I can't do this. I have no idea. No idea what I'm doing, or I have no idea how to do this. But it always works out. It always happens. And I guess that's the part that I like about it, is that it's not the same every time, and there's always a little uncertainty or a little, wow, is this going to work? And sometimes that goes horribly. I've had a couple of clients be real miserable, in the figuring things out process. All right. I think that's going to work. Let's try a little bit of this. All right. Wow. Oh, that's excellent. Yeah, I must have forgotten that, because it definitely would have to be a story. Yeah, I can imagine. No spoiler alerts from Joe. Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. And that's sports for some reason really functions that way in Japan. Like, I think, America likes the underdog story or the come from behind kind of thing. So sometimes there's those stories from the Olympics or whatever. And they like that kind of drama. I'm doing this for my sick parents, or, those sorts of things. But Japan really, just the, I don't know, the discipline and the success stories of Japan. It's like anybody from Japan is from this like same hometown, and the nationalism is very hometown feeling, and it really is inspiring. Like the accomplishments of Japanese athletes, everybody like takes credit for and is moved by, and yeah, really really big big morale boost, even just on any international scale. They really like to prove, to show how competent or skilled they are. So I really it's really interesting. And especially after the Fukushima nightmare. Yeah, because that was a huge blow to Japan. And the funny thing is, I remember all of the charities and people wanting to, raise money for Japan. And, Japan just didn't want anybody's help. And I think because of a little bit of embarrassment that happened. But, yeah, I remember that. And then they didn't want anybody's help. And then when the U.S. military was helping, I think they got too close, or they were, doing some cleanup or rescue or something. I think a couple of military members of the military got sick and then wanted to sue Japan for not letting them know the how dangerous it was. Like, see, that's why they didn't want any help, because they weren't going to tell you anything, and they didn't want to get sued. But that was a very awkward situation. That's cool. What's the title of that, Joe? The that series, I'll look that up. I'm sure it's not hard to find, but I'll look that up on Amazon. That sounds good. All right, so there's mysterious. Oh, I didn't do. Oh yeah, I'll take a break after. Yeah, straight ahead. All right. There we go. Oh, now I got to figure out what this is when I'm coloring it, not just for writing. That's cool. Yeah, Japan always gets really crazy about the World Cup, and I guess there's a lot of soccer fans, but just kind of like the Super Bowl in the U.S., the World Cup, everybody becomes a soccer fan in Japan for a little while. All right. Just do this. Oh no. What did I color? What layer did I color this on? Fuck. Alright, let's do this. Oh, I did this as well. I guess I thought I was safely on the same layer. There we go. Alright, I think at first, I might have to recolor this if I change my mind, but I think I'm going to do film. Oop. Alright. No, no problem. No, I should have remembered that anyhow. But that's really cool. I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff they talk about in this series. It's funny, that's the thing that our heightened communication style has created, is that, you know, spoiler, having to warn people about spoilers. But it's impossible to be that aware of everything that, you know, what everyone has seen, because we don't see things at the same time anymore. So it's so difficult to have any idea what episode are you in. And that's what I hate, is the those conversations with, like, okay, what episode have you seen? So you've seen up to 4. Okay, so do you know that kind of stuff? Is those are not fun conversations. But it used to just be everybody knew everything because you all watched it. Unless you didn't watch the show at all, you all watched it on the same night. But now, yeah. Everything is on demand or time shifted. All right. Yeah, I think this will work. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look. Yeah, sometimes the Amazon. Oh, hey. Yeah. This pen has a button. It has a power. It works on a couple of different. I think it's a couple of different. It's got a weird. If you can see. No, of course the camera's so small. It's got a little mouse button, so I can do right clicks and stuff. And you can program it to do different things. And it doesn't have an eraser because you actually charge it back here. But I don't need it to be powered on for this tablet. But tablets that do need that, you can charge it, and then you've got a mouse button, and then you can hold this button for an eraser. So yeah, it's just like a weird third-party replacement for my the stylus for this Surface, because that's at the office right now, and I am not there. So I had this as a backup. But Oh yeah, so sometimes the oh wait, this is not right. The content from American Amazon Prime and Japanese Amazon Prime is a little different. But I think if they talk about Japan, it'll definitely be on the Japanese Prime. Oh yeah, so I was watching the World War One stuff because I really wanted to watch 1917, but I can't find that anywhere. It's not out yet on anything. And I guess that was an end of last year release, so I guess it's not. It's probably out on Blu-ray, but I didn't see it anywhere on any of the streaming platforms. But I really wanted to watch that because I think that would be a better example of a setting or something I'd want to do for that weird World War II game, World War One game. And that's funny because most games where they add like weird sci-fi or some kind of magic element to war is World War II. So this is very different. Yeah, it was a very different take, and I liked it. I liked the look of it a lot too. The how they did the character illustrations, just the helmets and the gas masks and stuff looked really good on the in the book art. But yeah, I got to find some place to see 1917, and there are still video rental places here. This is football. Okay, cool. Thank you, Joe. I'll definitely check that out. Season 1, episode 2. Yeah, thanks for the recommendation. Yeah, I can't. I definitely need recommendations. Are so good for streaming because I have seen so many terrible things that I don't want. That I just end up, just abandoning. There's so many half-watched shows, especially on Netflix, and I don't know if it's the same in America, but for the Japanese Netflix, they just buy a bunch of weird international dramas from Europe. So there's just crazy language stuff. It takes you a while to figure out even what language people are speaking because sometimes they don't even list it. You just have to know by the names of the actors in it. Because they'll just say like original language. And you're like, okay, whatever that is. But they're good though because they do have a lot of subtitle options, much more than Amazon or Hulu has. All of this for the Japanese versions, but it's just a lot of stuff that I don't think should have gotten outside of their domestic markets. It's not very good. Very odd stuff. So that's really hard to wade through and decide if you're gonna, because Netflix is so good on in the background, or when you're kind of half watching it, and you can't half watch subtitled stuff at all. Nothing. You get nothing out of it when you just hear people's tone of voice in a series and can't follow a story and have to keep rewinding. Whoa, that's insane. That's a pretty intense series about soccer. Holy crap. Wow. Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. Well, they have that. That's that famous story about World War One and the no man's land. It was like was it Christmas time or something? But basically, it's trench warfare. So they're just hundreds of meters away from each other in trenches, and just anybody goes over the wall to try to make any sort of progress is just mowed down. So it's just dead bodies and barbed wire and whatever. But I think it was a Christmas during one of the years of the war, and just I think German and English soldiers, the one thing they had in common was football, was soccer. And so they just stopped the carnage and just for, one morning just played some small impromptu soccer with each other, and then very immediately the general stopped that because like, whoa, you can't think that they aren't monsters, and you have to go back to wanting to kill them. So knock that off right now. But yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like soccer is the well, I don't know. You'd have to. I guess that's debatable if you're in Europe, but soccer is the antidote to war. But it is a good way to resolve conflicts in a or at least nationalistic feelings in a non-fatal way for the most part, if you don't include the hooliganism and the throwing batteries and things onto the field by the fans. Wow, yeah, that series sounds really good. I like in modern history that we've had so many situations that you just have to refer to as genocides. That's just insane that we even pretend, like people are worried about what pronouns you use and how you're referring to people, and we still have genocide, like the elimination of an entire kind of type of person, an ethnicity or a religious denomination or whatever within countries. That's insane. And maybe someday we'll learn that this bad weather was a attempted genocide. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like they're talking about Japan just started talking about the origin of the bad weather, and are saying, now it is becoming more and more suspicious, and they're thinking that it did escape from a laboratory, but not a laboratory that was, working to create a weapon. They weren't trying to weaponize this disease. They're probably just trying to figure out how to not have it disrupt their agriculture, have it not disrupt their I can't go there. Disrupt their food production. But that it was not handled well, and there's actual documentation of like foreign observers complaining about the safety standards in the virology laboratories in a certain place where a certain thing may have started. But yeah, so that's starting to be talked about in Japan now more seriously. But it doesn't matter, because we're never going to get an answer. We're never going to get an apology. We're never going to get never going to get any sort of closure on that. But I did hear that there were some states in the U.S. that are putting together lawsuits against China. I love that that's the American impulse. Is like, well, let's just sue them for all of this lost business and downtime. Hey, Slow Kid. Oh no, I'll definitely watch it for rent. But no, I didn't even see it. Maybe it's the Japanese Amazon, because they do the rights differently. Like there's a little bit of a delay. No, I don't need to see it with for the subscription. I'll definitely rent it. But yeah, I was looking last night and I couldn't find it. But actually, I think my I don't have Amazon Prime, U.S. Amazon Prime, only Japan, and I think on my iPad, which is by the bed, is the only my American account, because you have to do weird things with your Apple account to make it. You have to change it for the region. So yeah, that may have been it too. Is it didn't come up. But oh, that's cool. Yeah, I definitely want to see that. Yeah, kind of a simple, pared down World War I story, and have a good setting for that. All right. Well, I think we're good. Okay. We've got a couple of cartoons. Nice. Okay, so let me switch over real quick. Do some quick comments. I'll just do the comments from last week and see who watched what. So there, I'm on the other side because it's a different section. There it is. All right. Oh, and you get to see the Japanese banner ads for Wondershare. Okay, so here is gocomics.com / domestic abuse. So that's where the archive of all my old cartoons are. I have to say, these guys are an awesome syndicator. They, without going into great details, I have a fixed payment now. So usually it's a percentage. So they just give you a percentage of the memberships and ad revenue and stuff for your comics on this site. But because I'd been with them for so long, they gave me a fixed payment now. That's a little bit better than I would have been doing just raw percentage wise, and so that's great because then I literally have like income in America that I know how much it's going to be every year. So that helps so much for my taxes and stuff. So this is very, very awesome on their part. So yeah, definitely Universal GoComics.com is a great. Has been really good to me. That's very lucky. So anyhow, last week, what was that, 23rd was, and with help from K5 because I totally missed the obvious salty idea, but just by his salty personality they could tell he was stale. So yeah, 9 likes, 1 stale maybe, but great in soup. There we go. Ed is always the positive thinker. Let's go back one more. 21st. Oh, there we go. Drinks. It seemed that everything came with a choice of beverage. Yeah, again, 9. So 3 comments. 1 must stay hydrated. Guess which one I choose. And what's with the bottle cap as a beverage? Well, he's just part. I never know when I take off. When I have a cap on something, I always make it alive. So it's not clothing, I guess. But nice. Dacker is confused by my sentient bottle cap. All right, let's take a look at a few random ones. See if there's anything good. Hey, there we go. So, 2019. She endlessly tried to not be associated with dirty dishes. Look at those dirty dishes. I could have done that a little more intensely. She should think clean thoughts, and she'll be one as well soon. Nice. Okay, let's see if we can get out of the recent years. 2006. There we go. Well, there you go. You can see that. That's a marker on paper. Tequila shooters were supposed to be about dulling pain, not dwelling on it. Oh, there we go. Oh, that should be here. You should still see the color of the bottle. It makes these look like paper cups. Oh, it was totally missed. Nobody liked my tequila joke. 2012. Whoa. Most gifts showed their love only on the outside. All right. Probably because they were empty like my life. I understand. Yeah, people threatened by not getting the joke. All right. 2018. Last one. They were completely and unashamedly materialistic. One comment said, likes, yep, Mr. Gray was a blockhead who wanted a trophy wife. Ms. Zero was a hangers-on looking for someone to cling to, and clearly a match made in a hardware store. Nice. Yeah, that's funny that they picked up on that, or they ran with that, because that was always the origin, the original version of the cartoon was a lot more like drama, like relationship drama with couples and whatever. That was the earliest thinking, is to have it be more domestic, where everybody represented like domestic couples and stuff. So that's funny. He picked up on that, or maybe he's just read a lot of these. But anyhow, okay. So, oh yeah, no, I definitely could. Yeah, I was doing that for a while. Amazon, though, I think is one that catches VPNs. For a while, they didn't care, and then some of the, I forget, there was a reason that I kind of gave it up, and well, also because the Japanese ones became available. Prior, there was literally no Japanese versions of these things, and maybe 5 years after the original American one, they became a thing. So it just became easier. And then also, like, my wife had a lot of stuff to watch because they put Japanese TV and movies on those services as well. So she enjoyed that. She likes American, foreign stuff, but having a lot of stuff that she missed while we lived in the U.S. Available is a good thing for her too. Let's see here. Oh, here. There we go. Keep creating new layers. Okay. All right. Oh, geez, that's what that was. God damn. Did I literally just delete all the eyes? I did. Okay, yeah, that layer was just jumping around. I thought I was creating a new layer, but I was actually just shifting a layer up. Okay, let's stop doing this now. Damn. It's weird that different keyboard, suddenly I've got like shortcuts that are acting strange. Nice. Yeah, right. The hooligans focus. Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out. So before now and next week, I will definitely have seen 1917. So I'll talk about that and talk a little bit more about that game, because I think that game setting is pretty cool. The idea of, because it was such a hellscape in a lot of ways, because I mean they were using flamethrowers and gas and things, and some of the new use of some of the most horrible, like, modern at that time technology was so fucked up and must have just made things insane. Like, nobody has seen anything like that amount of death and that amount of, like, just heavy ammunition. Like the shelling and stuff was insane, and just bodies everywhere. And there was I think it was the Hardcore History that talked about World War One, that really tried to give you a sense of the scale that, or the length. This is 4 years of fighting, and it's trench warfare. So you can be for months in a trench where you're not making any progress, and you're just kind of, holding the line, and you're in a trench with just dead bodies just propped up against just like people are just rotting, and you're rotting because you're, sitting there in water or whatever, depending on what the conditions of the trench were. You're getting sick and rotting and sitting next to dead people because there's just no way to get them out of there. So that scale, I mean, I think the mental trauma of that, and it being the first, more modern mechanized war. But yeah, that's just, it makes it very interesting as a setting. All right, I have to write these damn things. Yeah, it's funny. That's a more modern development. A lot of older, like, newspaper and like really old, like, classic stuff. The writer and the artists are different. Kind of like with comic books. But more recently, it's doing that weird thing again, where it doesn't show that I've selected this, but I have. Yeah. No. Either. No. No one remembered. Even owning a camera. I don't know. Is it 2? This is weird. Okay. Stop. And my weak broken spacebar here. So no one remembered buying film or even owning a camera. All right. buying specifically that film. Yeah, I don't know. We'll come back to it. There we go. All right, and oh, that's right. What's this gonna do? Okay. Okay, drive through, is that one word? Maybe hyphenated. The 2 a.m. drive-through definition of a cheese burger was rich and varied. Yeah, why is that other file not showing? I don't understand. Since I'm going so long-winded here. Fast food. In honor of Joe's In-N-Out. The 2 a.m. fast food drive-through definition. Okay, wait, did I have them in the right order? The 2 a.m. drive-through fast food? No, fast food drive-through definition of a cheeseburger was rich and varied. All right, all cheese all the time. Actually, that doesn't quite match the tone. Yeah, I think not rich and varied is it should be maybe more disturbing. Rich and varied is more complimentary. Was yeah, because the bag looks like it's having trouble dealing with this being turning away like that. So I think it needs to be more. Was unsettling. Very confusing and unsettling. And unsettling. That's a long one, though. The 2 a.m. fast food drive-through definition of a cheeseburger was confusing and unsettling. There might be a better combo of words. Oh, yeah. All right, because they're still using horses. Yeah, they're still using horses. And if you've ever been around a dead horse, that's a lot of dead animal. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure that they were making use of the dead horses, too. And supply lines were all messed up. Yeah, there's a lot of really crazy details about that. And because they could document it fairly well compared to, previous wars, because I think the previous conflict in Europe was like 50 years before that. So think about like 50 years less technology and worse documentation, not even, photographs of things that weren't like, 30-minute portraits. But yeah, so that's it's crazy. And then it just became more and more. It's weird. The technology of war, but also the technology of documenting war improves so that it's just even we get to see videos posted on Twitter and stuff of nasty stuff going on in other countries, military actions. And if you want to watch decapitations and stuff, there's a whole huge variety of military atrocities in all kinds of foreign countries. But yeah, that's funny. That affect our perception and the effect of technology. That's why that Peter Jackson "They Shall Not Grow Old" series is interesting, because you think of World War II and that like Charlie Chaplin silent film, like overcranked speed. But when they slow it down, they retime the film and color it. You like see it more as a contemporary. Like it doesn't look like a weird fantasy world or weird animation or some kind of cartoon. It's actually like real. Those are real people, and things really happened to them. Okay, is there a better way to do this? The 2 a.m. fast food drive-through definition. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, those are all adjectives, and I don't need any commas and all that. Wow. What are some good words, better words for a disturbing cheeseburger? Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think the idea. I think sometimes if it's if it's wordy, then it has to be funny in the wordiness. If it's not one of those real efficient economic ideas. Let's see. Yeah, or just talk about something. Oh, who's going in the bag first? Nice. All right. Cheeseburger. Yeah, confusing, unsettling. I think is as extreme a word as I want to. I don't want it to be disgusting, or go that far. Was often, the definition was often unsettling. Was often disturbing and unsettling, the same word. Confusing. Those aren't funny words, or they aren't funny together. But I think that gets across the idea without going too extreme. Or varied and unsettling. Was broad. The definition, maybe a broad definition. Yeah, maybe that works better. That sounds. And broad is such a funny word. The definition was broad and unsettling. Okay, yeah, I think that works better. At least it's two words that don't mean almost the same thing. 2 a.m. fast food drive-through definition of a cheeseburger was broad and unsettling. Yeah, that's closer to the tone and putting the at the end. Let's look at the camera film. Yeah, right. Where's Gabe? Where's Gabe? Yeah, that was brutal. How good Gabe was. I remember. I think I need the or something. Buying the film. Buying this film. Buying. I guess I don't need the. Yeah, and it's just mostly about the nostalgia of film cameras. The crowd on Go Comics, the readers on Go Comics like like nostalgia jokes. I get a lot of response when I'm always when I'm talking about something that doesn't exist anymore. Because I think my readership on Go Comics is skews a little older. And older than me that's brutal. All right. I remember buying film or even owning a camera. Yeah, and also the joke is that they weren't doing the shopping. They, or just the products of the shopping. All right. I love that weird short cut off bag. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but oh well. Oh, I was just it was just a all cheese cheeseburger. Yeah, those were supposed to kind of be the corners. It does look like fries, doesn't it? But it could be fries. I was just wanting it to read as like many corners of cheese, like if you just piled up a stack of cheese slices and all the corners were like hanging off. I guess they would be a little bit more geometric, a little bit more symmetrical and geometric, not so crazy. It does look like fries, doesn't it? But it could just be a fries and cheeseburger. Actually, yeah, they do that. There's a lot of fried potato. They do when they do original burgers in Japan at McDonald's. They do ones that are only Japan, and they do a lot of potatoes on burgers. That are just like their hash brown on a burger. They do a lot of that and call it like the Western barbecue potato. Yeah, they do a lot of weird variations. I don't know why Japanese people like fried potatoes on burgers, but that's it's a fusion of oh yeah, I guess my angles, I need, like, especially that one in the front is kind of blowing the illusion. It doesn't look like a stack of cheese because they are, but yeah, when the corners cut out each other off, I guess everything should be a perfect triangle, so it reads a little more, but it is just a misbegotten cheese upon cheese upon cheese. Nice. Yep, this is all your fault, Joe. Your drive-through trips are the inspiration. All right. Yeah, I think that works. Even if it doesn't quite read as an all cheeseburger, it reads as not quite right. Right, film. Yeah, I guess this will work. Oh, sorry. All right. No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, it's great. I'm glad everybody was around and that everyone is still doing well amidst all of this, or as well as we can. We're just kind of all held up. Hold up. We're sheltering at home. Yeah, some of this vocabulary. Why does everything have to have stupid vocabulary now, like social distancing and all of the, I can't even think of it right now, but a lot of the terminology, because people, especially on Twitter and stuff, just love their terminology, and just as soon as something happens, and the news is starting to do that too a lot. They love, just their idiotic terminology for everything. So we've got these new terms, and the thing that Americans did right away, or maybe just Twitter did right away, is or social media, I guess, in general, is just that virtue signaling kind of like, if you're not social distancing, you're trying to kill people and you're a bad person, you're irresponsible. And, spoken by people that don't have to worry about money or don't have to worry about jobs. I don't know. Yeah, it's very odd. But, yeah, right away. And I guess I just noticed that, on social media and YouTube and Twitter and stuff, people talking about their amazing attempts at social distancing and sheltering at home, whatever all the idiotic people are constantly talking about to make themselves sound so socially responsible. All right. Wow, I've got to come up with something else so there's a little bit more variety in the live stream. But something else to do. It's because it's a shame I don't have another external camera or anything But yeah, and yeah, my grocery shopping is it's weekly now, so I don't have a chance to do as much. I think anything that I get at the grocery store, I probably already talked about on the live stream. It's just real basic stuff, but yeah, I'll try to think of something else, because yeah, if I don't go back, if it's going to be until the end of May, that's several more weeks of this home streaming version. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I can think of. Yeah, because I just want to be some kind of Japan related thing. But excellent. Well, it's very cool. It's very cool to see everybody. And yeah, apologies for being on so late. But everything, yeah. Some of these tiny distractions. And like I told you, my daughter is home from school. But it's funny, they're sending her a ton of homework now. So she's, basically starting... She ended 4th grade and starting 5th grade without teachers, like without doing it. Like she knows who her teacher's going to be and has talked to her on the phone. But yeah, she's basically starting her 5th grade coursework without having any classes. It's odd, but I guess they have to do it. Otherwise, there's too much in, like I was saying, like math and kanji, like Japanese writing, that it's a big progression. And if you miss any part of it, or any part of it isn't very clear, you're going to have a very flawed understanding and probably not be very good at it. Oh, but In and Out, that sounds good. Yeah, there isn't anything. I mean, most of the burger places, the small ones, they do more the home style burger, kind of the thick patty burgers. They don't do anything thin and more fast food style. And very minimal drive-thrus. I don't think because of the space limitations in Japan, I don't think there was ever a drive-in movie theater in Japan, ever. That's amazing. But I guess it's just the Americas had a lot of space, a lot of fields where you could put up a movie screen and park cars in front of it. But that's amazing. Some of those like things were just like a part of my childhood memories, to like having those things not exist. Because I don't even think they do like public movie screenings. Like sometimes like they'll do stuff in a park or like an open amphitheater or whatever. They'll screen movies. I don't think they even do that here. And maybe because the movie studios have pretty firm control over the how the movies are shown, because unlike America, the movie studios own the movie theaters. So like there's the Toho Cinema, and like, the movie studios also do the presentation. So they control everything. And that's why the creativity and everything in Japanese films is pretty limited. It's very safe. All right. Well, I can spell check these and see what it thinks of my weird hyphenations. All right. Yeah, I guess, 2 a.m. would definitely be capitalized. Yeah, of course it doesn't know what I'm doing. Drive through? Okay. Cool. All right. Oh yeah, no, there's nothing. The nuclear plants, for some reason, are on the coasts, and I'm in one of the few prefectures in Japan that's landlocked. Like we don't have any sea access, so that keeps me as far away as possible from maybe any nuclear plants. So that's cool. Oh yeah. 2 a.m. It's almost burger time. K5. You have to hit that drive-through. Nice, yeah. Random street views. Yeah. That'd be funny. Oh, I can show you. Oh, let me see. Let me see if I can get Google Map, because I can show you the temple. I can kind of show you the weird situation that I'm in. Is that maps.google, or is it? Or I guess it's Earth. It's Google Earth, isn't it? If I can use the keyboard, that would be amazing. Yeah. Yeah, let me show you the... do I have to log in? Do I have to launch Google Earth? Oh, it's all in Japanese. Let's see. No, it should be fine. Wow. All right, so... Oh, come on. What? Oh, it's Paris. What? What? Okay, Paris. Thank you. What the fuck? Oh, there we go. Okay. Where can I... There's the search. What the hell was that? Thank you, Google Earth. Whoa. Hang on, everybody. All right. Oh, and here's a... as you can notice, there's still a lot of Nazi presence. I don't know if you can see that on the screen. Oh, this is just the... Yeah, this is just the web version of Google Earth. But as you can see, there's a lot of Nazi presence still in Japan. Oh, the little pins don't get any bigger. But this mark that looks like a swastika, like reversed and the wrong angle, is the Sanskrit, like the ancient Sanskrit for like in a religious site or temple that made it into Chinese writing, and then of course then made it into Japanese. So that's pretty funny. That I think my mother, there was at a little shrine, there was a little cup that you put like water or like a offering in, a little ceramic cup that had that temple mark on it. She saw that. It's like, is that Nazi? That was pretty funny. Okay. So what did I do here? Let's see. Where did I go? Higashino, up the mountain. Oh no, this is... Yeah, but so here is the mountainside. No, that's not... Let me double check. Try it again. Okay. There we go, there we go, there we go. Yeah, I knew I was looking at the wrong mountain. So here we are. Okay, so here's the temple at the top of the mountain. It's pretty cool. So so these, if you can see, I hope, yeah, you can see my cursor. So this long set of stairs. So there's these long stone stairs that go all the way down, and here's all these houses, and go all the way down to the train station down here. So you walk these stairs all the way to the top, and there's a parking lot. Of course, there's because there's events. There's like a little visitor center and events and stuff. But this is the temple on top, and oh, maybe I can do the 3D thing. But there's many different shrines and little offering areas and little areas where they have ceremonies and tea, serve tea and stuff sometimes. And wait, let's see. Can I tip the... There we go. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I can control this, but yeah, so if you can see... it's got to be... Oh, there we go. The view is insane, which you might not be able to get from the 3D because you're way up on top and all you see is the little valley down there. And so here's the temple. So you walk up through all this little area, and then there's a path that through the woods here. This is all like a cemetery. It's all shrines, but there's no remains. There's no body remains there. There's it's like a whole complex. It's a whole crazy complex of buildings, and they're all different shrines, and they're all so. Buddhism has more of and especially the Japanese Buddhism, because it incorporates a lot of Shinto, has more of a pantheon. So there's a lot of like lesser gods that you pray to for like saints, like how Catholicism uses saints. You pray to for specific purposes, for your children or for money, health, different things, and. So there's a pathway that you can take that takes you all the way up here, and up here is the little. Let's see if I can get the. It's not going to be so 3D, but there's a little Buddha that's in the carved in alcove. So you can walk all the way along here and make your offering. So spacebar drags it, and this shifts it. Yeah, it make your little offering there. But it's very beautiful, very peaceful. Like it's one of the most quiet places in the world. It's so quiet and nice. That's just right at the top of the mountain. So I'm just like maybe halfway down the mountain from here, and at the top is and it's a pretty old, because this side of Japan is the old side of Japan, and like Nara, the original capital, is just had like its 1300th, like 1300 anniversary. So it was a capital like more than a millennia ago, and more than, and it. So some of the temples are some of the oldest ones, as the capital gradually moved to Kyoto and then over to Tokyo. And the funny thing is, if I can get this to respond, is on the other side of this mountain is an amusement park. It's like a kid's amusement park. So you have this like ancient temple at the top, and then you have let's see if I can find it. No, that's Osaka. I don't know if you can see it from here. Is the little amusement park right at the top of the mountain. Oh, is that it? Yeah. Yeah, so here. So there's a little kids. These are the towers. Sorry, these are the towers to get the TV and the radio. But it looks like an amusement park. But there's just little kids rides and stuff. I can't remember which angle it's at here. But very funny. Wow, yeah, look at all those cell towers and everything. Yeah, we've got garbage television here. You have to have cable, and that's why, because that's the only thing that's getting the signal from the Osaka city and over to us is all those towers. But somewhere around here there's a little amusement park that kids go to often, and you don't have to drive. There's a cable car. So if you don't want to walk all the way up, there's a cable car that takes you up. Yeah, so this is the little city. Yeah, so that's the here, yeah. It's not quite the top of the mountain, so the side of the mountain. And this is a big divider. There's actually a tunnel through this mountain on the highway for a faster way to go into the park. Yeah, where is the amusement park? It's got to be pretty close. I guess maybe this is it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, this is it. Sorry. Yeah, so it's just a little simple kids amusement park with little ride-on trains, and there's no roller coasters or anything, but there's a little performance space and stuff. Yeah, this is the little Ikomasanjo. Yeah, so it's for very little kids. and then the housing begins. Yeah, it's just like a infestation. Yeah, so as you can see, so the mountain divides us from the city, so much quieter. Yeah, there's a cable car. Yeah, it's actually the oldest cable car in Japan. Goes up here. We might not be able to see it easily. Where is the? But it goes up to the temple, and then a second station is the amusement park. Which is, yeah, it's here. Yeah, that's the cable car line that runs down, and then there's a station. Oh, this is laggy. Yeah, then there's a station for both the temple and the park. Yay. But yeah, let's see how close we can get. Probably not very close. Oh, actually, wait. You can do that little drop the guy thing. Maybe? Oh, sorry, this is just a tablet, so it's lagging pretty hard. Sorry, it's thinking. Yeah, I don't have... There's no video card or anything in this tablet. It doesn't have any GPU, so it's gonna struggle. But this will be a cool thing to see. It's kind of like having a camera outside. Oh, we're just gonna have to wait. Did I crash Google Earth? There we go. Delete. 2 instances. Well, we'll check back on that. Let me make these files while we're waiting for that to... Oh, did it? Did it? No, it's still doing the unresponsive thing. Let's see. Sorry, this keyboard is hard to read. Oh, and it's... Oh no. I think my batteries are dead on my keyboard. That sucks. Okay, well, we won't be doing that then. Sorry, I think I asked too much of Google Earth. Well, we saw we saw a little bit of what you can kind of see what's going on. So it's funny because they all the mountains and everything, it's all volcanic, and so it's like basically rock. They're very volcanic rock, which is like a layer of earth on it. So that's why they get so many landslides in Japan. It's because it's very easy for water to get between the earth, which is there's a lot of clay against the volcanic rock, and things just slide down. But that's what the what's what the big problems is with the countryside, and so that's why they don't build so much on the mountainsides. They only go up about halfway. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you should have. Yeah, there's some really fun stuff, and it's so quiet and safe and clean. Yeah, Japan is an easy visit. It's very very fun. So no, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be able to do what I asked of it. Oh, that's right. I don't have a keyboard. Let me check and see, because there's no light here. Hey, let me change my batteries while I'm... Oh, actually, I don't think I've got... These are AAA. Wow. Page unresponsive. Cool. Well, there's a little bit of geography. Oh, there we go. And I can do that more, a little more in the future. We can talk about the other areas. Is that still a thing? There we go. And here's the JPEGs. Wow. Yeah, we can all do that. You guys can send me Google coordinates and we can look at everybody's location. It's gotta be crazy, like how many different areas, like just everybody in chat is living in. So time zones are different, and probably also the climate and everything around. All right, that's saved. Yeah, this little keyboard is hard to tell what I'm doing or what, if it can read what I'm doing or not. All right, yeah, it looks like Chrome isn't gonna handle that. Oh, have you guys seen that story, this kind of scary story that Google and Microsoft, basically Chrome is using a certain library within Windows to run what it runs, and now there's a vulnerability that can never be fixed, that Microsoft can't patch, that can't be protected, so there will be a security hole for the rest of the lifespan of Windows 10 in Google Chrome, just because of how it was written. It's like, that, how is that a thing? Like, how are two companies so incompetently building their software? But I guess it could be. Did I do both? Yeah. Okay, yeah, both versions. Yeah, but I haven't read any more about that, so we'll see if that happens. Yeah, it's not going to put my little guy. And it might not actually have a view, a street view. Oh, that's right. What? It wouldn't. There's no cars. That's right. That's right. So I was trying to give you a street view of something that doesn't have a street. That's why it's crashing. Yeah, there's no cars up there. There's a little parking area, but most of it is only walking. So that's why it's freaking out. But, yeah. Oh, that's right, because Earth is flat. That's right. Nice. Yeah, so sorry, I think I've gone beyond the limits of this keyboard. That's right. That was the strange thing, is you notice Google Earth was showing us a globe, and there was ice at the top and the bottom. There wasn't actually a perimeter of ice protecting us from falling off. Okay, we'll just exit. There we go. Yeah. It's funny, though, that Google just thinks they can take pictures of the entire world. Because I've seen places that I've been walking in Japan, I've seen Google cars go by. And so it's amazing that they just think they can take pictures of everywhere except countries that have a lot of secrets and protection. Wow. Yeah, so that we're still at the temple. Yeah, so that's fun. And so now you know that that's not a Nazi symbol. That's actually just means what? I can't even think of the word now, but yeah, it just means temple. In Japanese, there's no Nazis in Japan. Very cool. Well, I think that's it. Yeah, I think I got everything. Oh, everything done. Yeah, so I'll figure out something. Yeah, there might be some, because I can talk about different parts in Osaka and stuff too. That might be fun to like show the temple or the castle in Osaka and that surrounding area and stuff. And especially if they took these photos within the past like 3 years, you're going to see like the crazy tourism. If they waited for a sunny day, you're going to see crazy tourism. But nice. Flat Earth. Yes, obviously, Google can lie to us all they want, but we all know. I mean, look, it's not. There's nothing round about this. Look at that. It's just a little. There's a little hill there, but that's it. Otherwise, look at that. This horizon isn't curving. Nice. Yeah, but look at how densely populated this country is. Like, you can only see, like, there's the places where you can't build, and otherwise every other square meter of space has a house or a street on it. Yeah, if Japan wasn't like this, it would be more like Hong Kong, just like one giant city. Yeah, right. I'll try not to dox myself on the live stream. Yeah, but yeah, so I'm somewhere in this general area. Yeah, but it'll be fun. I should think about that, like the so you guys can see, because we can do street views of the different parts of the city, so you can see what the like how weird and small the McDonald's are here and stuff. Just the weird differences would be fun to look at, and how some of the train stations are set up is very odd. Yeah, there is not a lot of buildable land. Look at all those mountains you can't build on. Oh yeah, we can't even get our heads around this, like the scale of the scale of how many people that actually is, because we went to that, I think I showed you that photo of the performance that my daughter was at, where they had like a 10,000 person choir singing, and so it was 80% of the arena was the singers, and like the about like 2,000 people to 2,000 to 4,000 people were the audience. And when 10,000 people stand up and sing, it's insane. Like, and it's an insane amount of people. And 10,000 isn't even a big number, like compared to a lot of population numbers, like cities and countries. That's a very small amount of people. But yeah, 10,000 people is a lot of people. It's really hard to kind of get your head around how many people that is. Nice. Yeah, let's definitely do that. I'll try to think of some locations and kind of do. I'll preset them. I'll do save them in Google Earth, and I'll jump around a couple of places that just to show how different stuff is. And they still have like arcade kind of covered walking street arcade shopping here. It's pretty much dying out, but it's very old school Japan. I mean, Japan's looked like that covered street shopping. It's looked like that for almost 100 years. It's really crazy how. Well, no, if it's 2020, it's for more than that. So it's very funny. When you look at like old film footage of even like wartime Japan, it still looks very much like it does now, because the school uniforms have been the same for almost 100 years. A lot of the buildings, still look the same. It's crazy. Yeah. So running it on the tablet, it's not gonna handle, especially when I was trying to make it jump into the street view. It had no idea what I was asking. Well, that's cool. So there we go. A little bit of something about Japan. All right. Well, I will have to see. It's dinner time now, so I apologize for getting a late start. So, yeah, I'll try to. If I get on earlier, we can make these longer, but I shouldn't go much past 6 here, because I gotta get upstairs and see what's going on. But but it's great. Thank you so much for hanging in there, and I hope it's not too early morning where you are. It's probably just about drive-through fast food time where you are. But so good to see you, K5 and Joe and Sedona. And let me go up through the chat. I'm forgetting everybody. Oh, wait, there's the chat. Where that was here. And yeah, if you were new to the stream, this happens every week around this time. So it's Monday night, Tuesday afternoon on the other side of the planet, and I do I draw the cartoon, draw color, and write the cartoon, and then look at some of the previous cartoons in the comments and the archive, and just ramble on incessantly about things in Japan. But yeah, K5. See you next time. Take care, and everybody stay safe and take care of each other until we until we get back to normal, whatever that is, and however we're going to decide that, who knows. But yeah, the website for this cartoon is abusecartoons.com, and the Twitter, you can follow the Twitter, get notifications either through YouTube or on, I tweet the announcement for the live stream at the same time. So Twitch and YouTube, and maybe no Twitch, maybe I was too late for Twitch this evening. But yeah, so everybody take care, and thanks for hanging out with me. It was yeah, always fun. It's always a fun thing, and thank you for the inspiration, Joe. Your late night in and out actually made me think of something. So yeah, be safe and take care, and I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.